Welcome to Sweat Socks and All That Sauce.
Hey everybody, this is Todd, the sports guru.
Justin, the goofball.
And Kay, who basically just knows how to drink at sporting events.
So we're taking a stab at a sports podcast, but we're more than just a typical talk about a game that happened yesterday podcast. We want to debate anything and everything correlating to sports.
It could be about if whether or not proposing at a sporting event is tacky or not, what sports movie has the best fake jerseys, but maybe go deeper. Could be the best college team. Can they beat the best pro team? Should the Olympics be abolished? And not to mention the day-to-day sports rivalries that keep the fire burning.
This is basically a podcast for all levels of sports enthusiasts.
Me and sometimes Justin are sports encyclopedias, stats, scores, insights at our fingertips. Our knowledge behind the sport and the people, but Kay's expertise lies in the art of cheering for her favorite teams, even if she's, a little fuzzy on the rules.
With one diehard Vikings fan living in Seattle Seahawks territory.
An Alliance fan living in London, England.
And a guy who just adores the world of sports as a whole, even though I'm a little biased when it comes to Mariners baseball. It is bound for greatness.
With special guests, funny anecdotes, and interactive segments, Sweat Socks and All That Sauce is the ultimate podcast for sports fans and cheer enthusiasts alike.
Are you drinking?
Yes.
In football, the two biggest trophies or the two best trophies that you can win.
Makes sense.
So this is the Premier League. It's replicas, by the way, they're not real things, but they're very close. Premier League, so this is like all the British teams, the best British teams in the league. There's 20 in the Premier League. All compete. They have 38 games in a season. And at the end of the season, the winner will win the Premier League. Manchester City, my team, have won the last 4 in a row.
But wait a minute, you win a trophy for playing soccer? You get something that big?
Well, yeah.
Fucking bonkers. I had no idea.
This one, and not only this one, but if you're the best in Europe, if you're the best in in Europe, all the best teams in Europe compete for this one, which is the Champions League, and that's even harder to win than the Premier League, really, because the teams in this are better than the teams in that. But then that's over less games.
Well, you have to be a champion to get in the Champions League, I would assume.
Exactly. Well, you say that, but some of the teams in there aren't very good.
It's because of this. It's because money, isn't it?
Yeah, money does play a big part. So in the better leagues, more teams go through into the Champions League. So in the Premier League, it's 4, and then I think in Germany it might be 3 or 4. Maybe I think it's 3 or 4. I'm not 100% sure, but the better teams in the better nations that play better football have more teams entered into the competition, and then the further almost quality of football you go down, instead of going in automatically at the end of the season, then they have to compete again. So they go into playoff games to get into the Champions League.
I know you're speaking English, but I honest to God am so lost by the things you were saying. There's terminology here I've never heard before.
No, I can simplify it. Don't worry. So all the best teams in Europe ultimately end up in this competition, and it goes into a few different phases. So it starts off in a group stage phase where so it's usually on the telly, and a famous old footballer.
That's a television, Justin.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, that's what I need. I need fucking subtitles from Todd over here, who apparently is bilingual.
The famous footballer, usually on the telly, puts the hand into a big pot, and inside this pot are mini little footballs, and inside the footballs are teams. So you open the football and there's team names. So they then pick these teams out, and it randomly basically generates it's like a table, and there's 4 teams in these mini stages. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Was this the idea for the Tri-Wizard Cup? It sounds very similar to that.
That's what it sounds like. And
I
gotta say, one of those trophies looks like it could definitely be the Tri-Wizard Cup.
Yeah, I was really disappointed when you said both of them were soccer related and neither of them had anything to do with Harry Potter. I assumed, Brayden, that you would be all in.
Sorry. No, Ron Weasley over here hasn't got anything to do with it.
No, Brayden, you have a soul. We can tell.
You guys know what the difference between England and a teabag is?
Go on.
Teabag stays in the cup longer.
Oh,
I knew it was coming.
wow.
I knew that was. I knew that. Yeah, but that's rich, really.
Brayden, I'm glad I loosely understand that joke now because you explained so much of it to me. So thank you. I appreciate that.
I love the fact that Justin's getting absolutely none of this right now.
No, you've done a wonderful job. Absolutely not. Unless you're gonna like draw pictures, a lot of it is.
Yeah, no, I think that'd make it even more complicated, to be honest. As far as it goes, it's got almost like two left hands. It looked like, I think the ancient Egyptian writing. That's what you'd be looking at. So there's no point there. You just give up on that one.
So,
In
Brayden,
your-
do you play this English soccer football sport, or are you just a big fan?
No, yes, I play for just my two local teams, one on a Saturday and one on a Sunday.
Treat your body like a temple.
Yeah, well, that's what they say, but I haven't really been doing that recently, so I might have to think about that. That's what my mum says anyway.
Good on her.
Temple of Doom, Brayden. The Temple of Doom.
Brayden, who is perennially, in your 16, 17 years, right, who has perennially been the shite club?
Oh, well, that's a great question. I would say Manchester United since I've been alive.
Oh.
No, that's because they're the rivals to City. Usually the teams that get relegated are not very good. But recently, in fact, City, since I was born, let's say over the last 10 years that I've been watching football, Manchester City have been the better team, and Manchester United, who are our biggest rivals, have not been very good. In fact, last year, in the whole 20 teams, Manchester City finished first, and Manchester United finished 8th, which was their worst ever finish in the Premier League.
So this Manchester town, it's like New York. You can have two teams in the same sport, like Yankees, Mets. That's Manchester. It's got two footy clubs.
Yeah, two football clubs, very big football
What's
clubs
the
as well.
population of Manchester? It sounds like a quaint town.
Come on! I'm not a geography teacher. I don't know that. I don't know that's not fine. I can give it a Google for you, but I don't know off the back of my hand. Manchester population. This was the most recent statistic I can find because it's the little box that comes up on Google, and I'm not going any further than that. It was in 2019. And it's 553,230.
Well, still, I mean, what's New York, like 7 million, and they've only got 2 baseball teams, so it's kind of shocking to me that you can have that many fans of this particular sport.
I'll let them know. I'll let the local council know and say they're bringing another big football team for us. So
Justin's met his match. The only thing I know about Manchester United is the fact that David Beckham played for them, right?
That is correct.
There's a part of me that feels like they should be my team, and I feel bad saying that, wearing this. I know, look at that face.
Let's say that. Come on, Kay. You're better than this.
But I love him so much.
You're better than this, Kay. Listen to the boy.
Right, so I'm not having that, Kay. I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. So we're talking about City, right? City's my favourite football team in England. What about you guys? What are your favourite teams in maybe the NFL or in the MLS?
No,
or,
you should be pigeonholing us into soccer and soccer only, Brayden.
Seattle Sounders.
No. I'm interested here because
Seattle Sounders.
Look, I'm asking you about football. I don't know much about the NFL, your football. So you'll have to teach me a bit here, guys.
The Seattle Sounders a couple years ago won the CONCACAF fish. It was the North American Championship. Now, I don't know how much you know about that.
Probably, I mean, I don't know. Those trophies you got behind you look pretty nice, but the North American CONCACAF.
Now, they're in the MLS, right? But they won the North American Cup. It's like his Champions League.
I understand, I know, but soccer is so confusing. So any team can just pick them. Like, well, I know we're playing the MLS, but we just go fucking play in the Premier League or wherever we want to play. It's wild.
Coming on to that, so my experience with NFL is that there's a few things. So number one, I've played Madden. Yeah, right. So I'm very experienced with the Madden game. I'm not very good at it, but I've played it. And then I went to the Pro Bowl a few years ago.
Out of all the football experiences you can get, Brayden, the Pro Bowl.
Well, it was quite good actually because I got to go on the pitch, right? And at the end
we call that a field. It is a field.
The field. I got to go on the field.
It's a gridiron, Justin. Man up.
I want to live this kid's life. What the hell have I been doing? Flushing my life down the toilet.
And then, again, going back to the Pro Bowl, I've got something here that I think one of you guys might like. Maybe both, depending on what team you support. But I got given this, which is quite cool.
When
I say C, you say Hawks. C! Hawks! C! Hawks! C! Hawks!
You've gotten Todd quite excited with that.
It's quite cool, isn't it? So this lives in my bedroom. I got given a ball alongside. It's got the little badge on it.
Glorious.
It's quite big on me.
Was this
Doesn't
like a
really
Make-A-Wish
fit me.
trip? Like, how did you end up getting, like, did you heal? I'm glad that you're well.
Yeah, no, I'm good now.
We just need to get him some Detroit Lions stuff, and then it'll all be taken care of. We will never make sure that you have to be succumbed to the Minnesota Vikings. Let's make sure that never happens. You poor
Okay,
guy.
no, don't worry. I won't. Well, in fact, my NFL team would be the Tennessee Titans because I did some bits with them when I was a City fan. So I don't know how good they are anymore. But that if I had to pick a team just based off almost experience for myself,
You can join the sad little trio that is teams that just don't do well.
oh,
Well, to speak for yourself, Brayden, I really think you should get yourself over to Minneapolis U.S. Bank Stadium, home of the Minnesota Vikings, and engage in a couple of skull chants. And I think you really would be a convert. You realize what
Okay,
real
would you
fandom.
approve of this? Okay,
I disapprove. of this.
God.
She's not your mother. Don't listen to her.
feeling about United? Oh, I don't know anymore. Okay, I don't know. What you said about United
you're-
and David Beckham.
I'm just glad. Yeah, I'm glad that your experience with America goes further than just talking to Kay, because sweet Jesus, we would be a lost cause. But it sounds like you're world traveled, so that's fantastic.
Kay's like my tour guide. Don't worry. Kay's got me. Kay's got me. She's got me backed up. Don't worry. If I needed American advice, I reckon I'd go to Kay.
See? Thank you very much. Welcome to Sweat Talks and All That Sauce with Justin K. and
Oh,
Todd.
that's
where
right.
no
We're doing
spoilers
a
off
show,
limits.
aren't we? Oh, my gosh.
We are doing a show. We're at the debates are debatable. Follow us on socials at Sweat Sox Pod. We may not become the #1 podcast, but with guests like the one that we have today, who knows? I guess maybe we would owe him some cash in the future. We are in episode 10, and we have our very first guest to the podcast, a dear friend of mine and someone I cannot wait to see where his life takes him. He's a teenage broadcaster and presenter, football fanatic, and big Manchester City supporter with love of all things sport. We welcome the one and only Brayden Bent.
Thank you very much. I'd take you everywhere, Kay, with that introduction. Happy days. Thanks for that.
For everyone that listens to this podcast, everyone should know by now, the three of us know jack shit when it comes to we've decided to call European football footy and American football is football. So that's what we do. So when we're just calling it footy to make it easier on everybody.
All right, okay.
I think Todd might be probably the one that might know the most. But ever since I've come over to Britain, I've decided to try to embrace the culture and attempt to dive into the footy world. And for me, it's probably just another excuse to drink socially. But Brayden and his family took me and my son Noah to our first ever Premier League game. I couldn't tell you if it was Chris's first Premier League game because he doesn't talk about it because he doesn't care. So I don't know. Maybe it was his first. I have no idea. But I was gobsmacked at the difference in the atmosphere between like American football games and footy games. It drastically different. For an American girl who enjoys going to sporting events because I get to wear my cute little outfits. Like, look, I got my cute little shirt. I look adorable.
I think it's called a kit. It's a kit.
That's right,
I got my cute little kit.
That's what I know about footy. That's it. There it is. Where's your scarf? You're supposed to have a scarf that goes with that, as far as I know.
Well, I need that.
Where's
I'm
your
working on
drum?
it.
You're supposed to have a drum.
I will get there anyway. So I like to look cute and I like to drink my beer. And so we get into the stadium, and what's the first thing you guys do, the two of you? What's the first thing you do when you go into a stadium?
I try to find anybody who's not wearing the same jersey as me and immediately accost them. I'm pretty drunk at that point, and I got to start getting it out of my system.
I tried to find the first restroom. Like,
Yeah,
what's
then
the
bathroom.
shortest
Then
distance
bathroom.
that I gotta?
The best is when you're able to do both at the same time. The guy standing in the row next to you. Hey, jackass, your team fucking sucks. I can't believe you came all the way to Minnesota to see him get their ass kicked in person. You know.
So the first thing I do is I get beer. So Justin, you kind of alluded to that fact, but you're already shit-faced. Todd, you're needing a bathroom because you're also already shit-faced. Right, so I grabbed 2 massive pints to my first ever Premier League game. And Brayden's mom, bless her, so I'm sitting with Brayden's mom, and she goes, wow, you must be able to drink beer really fast. And I said, well, they're here to last me the whole first half. And she just goes, oh, no, you can't bring those in. You have to drink those. And we had 3 minutes until the game started. So there's me chugging these massive pints. Dear God. I mean, but you can't drink when you're in there. And I had no idea. No idea.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, Brayden. Kate knew. She just wanted to pretend like this is such a surprise that I have to chug 87 ounces of beer. I've never done this before.
It's a shame, really, because there's a lot of fighting and conflict. So to almost stop like cups being thrown onto the pitch and at each other, basically, and to almost kind of reduce the alcohol consumption, they don't let you have it in your seats. You have to drink it before the game or at halftime or after the game.
Clearly, your mom is going to listen to this later. That's why Kay changed the story to. And then I gave one to Brayden and said, "Pony up. We got to get these done before we get down to our seats."
We don't say that. We don't say that.
We don't talk about that.
We leave that bit out.
Now, in NFL games, you can buy and purchase alcohol and drink it, but they charge a ridiculous amount, which is why everybody does the 2-fist and get plowed. By the time you get in there, your BAC is higher than the score of a typical footy game.
Yes, it's higher than 0.0, Todd.
It's the same. The prices. I mean, I don't know really. Well, I do know, but I don't obviously.
Yeah,
don't.
right.
Even just a Diet Coke on a match day, about £4 now. So it's very, very expensive. Yeah.
£4, Kay. Quick, dollars.
Oh, $6.
All right, the real reason we have Brayden here. Brayden, you're a social media guy. You've got a following. Like, what's your platform that you like to reach out to people and extol all the virtues of Man City?
Thanks. I've been lucky enough, and it's been great because over the years I managed to build up a decent following on Instagram. So I use Instagram quite a lot to talk to almost like my followers.
Kay, are we on Instagram?
Yes.
Brayden, you should find us on Instagram. We're great.
He did. He already.
I did an Instagram story like 10 minutes
thank
ago,
you.
and I had the podcast in it. I've already done it. Don't worry. I've got it down. Don't worry about it. I just got no.
Appreciate you.
Don't
We
worry
appreciate you,
about
sir.
this.
Brayden, do you think there has been a time, like before they decided to make it so you had to pound beers like Kay and go down to your seats, do you think that might lead to more binge drinking ahead of the game, which might lead to more fights in the stands, whereas they just let you sip your beer peacefully in the stands? Maybe you guys wouldn't burn down the stadium every time Man City loses.
You know, it's a very diplomatic question for the Prime Minister, actually, so I don't mind answering this in his.
Assuming he's
form.
going to listen to this, so I think it's time we address it.
It must be. Oh no, of course he will. It's not even a question. So no, I think there must be the reasons behind it. I think it is to stop almost the fighting and the cups being thrown onto the pitch, and there'll be other reasons like probably to make it more eco-friendly or whatnot. But definitely, I think. Before the game, it's normal for most football fans to find a local pub or the pub that they're always going down to on a match day and drink a lot beforehand. And then, by the time you get into the stadium, you're a bit like you guys, so to speak. But
Whoa.
No.
Don't lump us all into the same. We're talking about Kay's drinking problem.
I've only talked about what I've heard on this podcast so far, to be fair. It's not fact.
As Justin brings up this tall boy to his mouth.
Single Hill. Delicious, by the way.
That's one.
Yakima.
Yeah, but you've made a good point there, to be fair. But I think if you do turn up to because you have to scan your ticket for, I presume it's the same in when you go to an NFL game. But there's loads of security, especially at all stadiums. And if they see that you're a little bit worried and you're going to cause a bit of trouble, then they just turn you away.
Well, they're just going to take one look at Justin and be like, go home.
That's it. Get
I'll give them my tire iron if they'll just let me into the damn game already, okay? Here's the thing, though. If I've got an $18 beer that I'm sipping on, I'm not getting in a fight with anyone because I don't want to spill it. Like, this is nice.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you have the Prime Minister's number? I can talk to him about this. I'm a very level-headed, rational
Yeah,
person.
no, I'll give him a call. He's a very close friend.
believe
actually.
it.
Yeah, no, well, I believe he watches this podcast religiously.
He definitely
so
follows you on
I'll,
Instagram.
He'll be listening now. He'll be listening now, so I won't worry about that. He'll be thinking about it now.
Did you grow up in a house of fans of sport? Were your folks all Man City, or did you just kind of find it on your own?
So almost when I was born, as soon as I got to the age of almost talking and walking, for me, straight into football.
Straight
My dad
away.
is a massive. Yeah, straight away, football was my thing. My dad is still is a massive Manchester City fan. He's been to so many games. He's got loads of shirts in the loft. He went to the old stadium before we moved to the one that we're in now. And then his dad, so my granddad, was also a City fan, and then my great granddad as well. So football and City, whether we were rubbish, because we were terrible in back then. Honestly, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we were not even in the Premier League, and now we're winning it constantly.
Let's go.
I've only seen the glory days, but my dad and all my family, my mum as well, is a City fan. Always has been a City fan. So it's really just straight into it, and then. Almost all kind of sports. I've played a little bit of tennis.
So game
but not
day,
very-
when Man City's playing 38 games, what do you and your family do if you're not on the gram? Do you guys all convene? You're not old
No,
enough to go to-
I usually go to the games.
Yeah.
So pretty much, probably not all 38, but I would say a good 20, 25 games. Pretty much all the home games in a season, because me and my dad have season tickets. So we go to all 19 home games. And then I would say about maybe 10 to 15 of the away games at other stadiums we also go to as well.
Boy, Justin, how did we screw life up so poorly that we are doing this?
This is just a constant reminder of the failures of our life, Brayden. Thank you so much.
Oh no, sorry, I apologize. I'll just log off.
Sounds to me like being a fan of footy is how to get ahead in life, apparently. Cheering on, say, American
I don't
football.
know. It is if you're supporting City, not if you're supporting some of the other clubs. It's probably a good pathway into depression.
Hey, Brayden, with the,
but-
have you noticed when City plays AFC Richmond now, is it a much more hotly contested, well-attended event? Popularity of
yes,
that
very,
team?
very highly. Oh yeah, very highly attended game. AFC Richmond, yeah.
It's a legitimate question. I mean, we were talking about the NFL earlier, and I assumed you got inspired by the NFL by that documentary I watched on Apple TV about the football coach who was then coaching soccer.
My NFL, it's how I kind of know about it and started watching a bit of it. Started when I did this little documentary. So it was called Brayden's Captain's America. And I was about 9 or 10 years old, and the idea that happened was the captain, Vincent Kompany, give me a box, and in the box was a surprise, and I had to open it when I got to America, and it was the captain's armband. So he was the captain at the time, and my mission was to deliver the captain's armband to Vincent Kompany on the match day. So I had about two weeks out there, and me and Dad had a car that was all done by City. Dad drove, and we had a big crew. We stopped off in all the different states along the way, from LA to Nashville, and my mission was to make as many people in all these different places along the way from LA to Nashville City fans. So we give them caps, shirts, kits, everything to almost, make them a City fan, and that was my mission. And along the way, as I said, I did some basketball. I met the Phoenix Suns with a big gorilla, I think. Did the baseball where I had to pitch the ball. And then NFL, we ended up in Tennessee with the Tennessee Titans, and then I started kind of doing a bit more for the NFL after that. And then going back to your Richmond question, it's I don't want to sound like really. You do know it's a made up team, right?
What's that?
Season 4 of bullshit is heading our way, which I can't wait because I love Ted Lasso.
Wait, whoa, backpedal. We say it's made up. I'm pretty sure that I've watched at least one season of this documentary where this guy goes to England and shows everybody how easy it is to coach this sport with this team AFC Richmond, who are great. Crystal Palace, is that a real team?
Crystal Palace is a real team.
AFC
yeah.
Richmond must be a real team. They're both featured in this documentary. That is the extent of my knowledge of soccer.
Maybe I've just missed it. You're right.
That could be. Maybe they don't play. Maybe they don't play in the Premier League yet. But
apparently, there's a documentary coming out where I go to America and just take charge of an NFL team.
whoa. Pump the brakes. That's fiction, and you know it.
Just bang my way through it.
It'll be when Kay's at the Gallagher showing out for school.
Kay can be my assistant coach. I'd employ Kay as my assistant coach.
How terribly
This
would
needs
that
to-
go?
That's good, Brayden, because the only person
You
here who
the
knows less about
followers,
football
Brayden,
is
go fund me. Go fund
Just
us.
gonna tell you can wash the boots. That'd be good. You'd be good at that, I think. Washing the boots, cleaning the kit, maybe. That could be a good job
Kit
for you
cleaners.
guys.
They can do that.
I love the fact that Brayden's putting Justin in his place because I can never do it. So thank you, Brayden.
I'm really. How am I getting put in my place? I just don't understand.
Because you're you. So does the one debate that we wanted to have, but I felt like we needed to have with somebody who actually knows football is, does soccer need instant replay?
Does it have it now?
Yeah, so it's called VAR, but so it's virtual assistant referee, and in the Premier League and in the top leagues, they have like a little box. So it's like a little monitor. And if there's a decision in the game that they think could be either a red card or a penalty, then they'll go over to the monitor if they haven't seen it on the pitch, and they're able to watch it back on this little screen and then make a decision.
So when did it become a part of the game? Recently, right?
Not too long ago. I would say, I don't know exactly the year, but it was properly introduced, I would say, for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Especially now. Now, in the game today, it plays a massive role in everything. So the decisions really made on the pitch, they obviously do make a big difference. But when it comes to the big decisions like the penalties, or if someone's going to get sent off, then really what happens isn't really up to the referee, because in the referee's ear, he's got about 3 or 4 people sat at a studio in like a little room, always watching for little fouls, little replays. And if something happens, they talk to the ref, they say, look, so-and-so's been kicked. So it could be Brayden's just been booted by Todd. I think you should go and check. It should be a red card. And the referee will say, right, I'll have a look, goes over to the monitor, and then makes a decision. But usually by that point, the decision's already been made for him. Offside's a big one. So you can be offside literally now. In today, you can be offside by like a finger, like a kneecap. Honestly, it's crazy.
So you've lost 2/3 of the 3 of us. What is offsides?
No, I know
And
what
please-
offsides is. I don't know
I don't
how
know.
the hell
I
to keep
still
track of it in
don't
soccer.
get it.
Paint a freaking line in the grass and call that offsides. Why? How does everything? They just stop playing. I'm like, why are they offsides? What's offsides?
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, that's what some people kind of say is when they get angry with the decisions. But the offside, so it's when the attacker has to be either in line or behind the defender. So let's say there's an attack. If you watch the screen, this is the defender, this is the attacker. The attacker has to be either in line with the defender or behind the defender for it to be onside. If the ball gets played through and the attacker is here in front of the defender, then it would be offside. So the striker who scores all the goals has to be behind or in line with the defender. But now, in with the VAR, if it's even that close and the attacker is that close, like offside, then they can rule it out. So your timing has to be to literally the millisecond, or else the goal can be ruled out.
But surely things like you're running, right? And so
Yes,
like
okay, there is running in soccer.
so like you're running.
We've
and then
established this.
what's the word that's not gravity that I'm trying to think of? Momentum. So you're still
Blackout.
Yeah, you're right. The big thing is you've got to time your run. So the timing and the angle of your runs really determines, how good of a footballer you are, and it's part. It doesn't determine it. It's just part of being the best footballer.
I'm faster than the slow ass defender. I got around him. He should have found me.
Yeah. You've got to run at like a timed pace. So let's say there's a really slow defender and you're a really fast attacker. It doesn't matter whether the ball gets played through and you're a little bit in front, but you'd still kind of beat him anyway, whether you were behind or in front. Doesn't matter. You have to be either in line or behind the defender for that ball through or for that goal to be eligible.
Okay, so quick defensive strategy, because I've watched Ted Lasso again several times. So why don't I just have my defender stand up at like midfield and say, you can't go past this point. You shall not pass. Gandalf, I like to call it.
So you can't be offside from throw-ins, goal kicks and corners, and also when you're in your own half. So there's two halves, obviously. You got one half and then the other half. But the half that you're attacking... So let's say my goalkeeper is in this half. If I make the pass and I make the run inside my own half, I can't be offside. So as soon as you step over the halfway line, you can be offside. But if you had all your defenders stood like here and the halfway line was here, then it doesn't matter. So you can't be offside in your own half, basically.
Justin's face is just like, what?
I had no idea that this was more complicated than hockey. It's like it's a fucking ball and you can't use your hands. Like you try to kick it in the hole. That's it.
It's much easier when you can see it.
In hockey, they paint this line on the ice and they say, okay, you can't be past this line until the puck gets past it. And it's like, oh,
It's the puck, but
it's
not
explained.
the defender.
And it's like, oh, I get it. But with soccer, it's a moving line. It's just constantly moving. Where
I presume with American football, well, I know with American football, you've got offense and defense, and there'll be different strategies for offense and for the defense. And it's the same with football. There's different tactics and strategies for the attackers and the defenders. So almost for some teams, they say what you said, Justin, before, which wasn't really stupid.
Thank you.
So if you're not...
No, it was stupid as shit, man. This is the beauty. This is why I love this young man right here. You're young, everybody on this screen is younger than me. This is why I love you, Brayden, already. Because you have built up a following of people. You're a go-getter, and you know the game, and people aren't following you because you know the rules by rote, and yet you're still joining in these reindeer games, which are absolutely inconsequential for you right now. We're trying to build it up, man.
He's good. He's good. I like it. No, it's like being a school teacher on this podcast at the moment.
And what are we, maybe kindergarten?
Not even that level, I would say. I reckon we're lucky to get that.
Nailed it. And we call ourselves a sports podcast. Fucking killing it. So I wanted to do some quick fire questions. Some of them have actual answers. Some of them are just your opinion, right? Okay, so we're going to start, and you got to be quick. Favorite sports film?
Oh, God. It's not a film, it's a documentary. City treble winners on Netflix.
I thought he was going to say Ted Lasso.
yes, I was for sure. It's like, how was that not your answer?
Kickboxer 5, man.
What is the record for red cards given in a single soccer game?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm going to guess 17.
36.
What?
36 red cards in one game?
Wow!
February 27th, 2011, in a match between Club Atlet Claypole and Victoriano Arenas.
Wow.
36 red cards?
36.
That's everyone.
I didn't even know that was possible because there's only 22 players on the pitch. So
I don't know. Was it like 2-on-2?
They just let the fans duke it out. Like, tell you what, hooligans, get your tire irons and let's do this like men.
Oh, it might include the staff. It might include the coaching staff and players on the bench.
I'm looking. My stat guy is looking this up for me, and he is saying yes, 100%. That is what happened. Players, staff, coaches were getting thrown out. One of the coaches' wives got pitched because she wouldn't shut her napper.
Yeah, no. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot more than I was thinking. That's really well. Learn a bit more. I know that now.
You'll learn a bit more from Sweat Socks Podcast. That's right. Will the U.S. team win a World Cup in the next 20 years?
So forget the MLS. So you mean the U.S. as a country? So you mean the United States Football Club as the country?
Yes.
Will win the World Cup? No.
Why not?
Because their players aren't good enough.
You haven't clearly watched enough American soccer like I have not as well. but I can
They're all
I can only
Europeans
imagine.
and Spaniards.
No, the answer to that question would maybe in the next 50 to 100. I would say no. Not in the next.
Have you heard of
20.
Freddie Adu?
100,
He's a big
100.
deal.
I might bet. Yeah, 100.
Yeah, no, it's worth a go, but I would say off the top of my head, probably not.
Who was the first British player to win league titles in 4 countries?
British player. I'm gonna go David Beckham.
David Beckham. Well done. Thank you. Who is the greatest athlete that you have ever met?
Ever met? Oh, what a question. Greatest athlete
Justin,
that
put
I've
your
ever
hand.
met.
Justin, put your hand
Oh,
down.
because
You
we
are
haven't
not an
technically
athlete.
met. This is more of a virtual thing. Had we met face to face,
You are not an
you haven't seen
athlete.
me with my shirt off yet, Brayden. Captain my high school football team 30 years ago.
Justin. Never mind. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was the
I've had a
captain
couple of
his
beers, so I
football
can tell
team.
you all about it if you want. We can revisit the glory days. When I peaked, Brayden, you're still on the way up.
Oh, do tell, Justin. I'll be listening intently.
Greatest athlete. I'd probably say Erling Haaland for me. I've announced his name off the team bus.
And
he's a big
why is that?
He's just an absolute unit. He's brilliant. He was on a podcast. It wasn't this one, unfortunately. He was on a podcast talking about like his sleep and his health routine. So he wears like these glasses and stuff that like reflect the sunlight. He's unbelievably healthy.
I have to ask, are those sunglasses that you were talking about? You guys should get those in England. Sunglasses are awesome.
Well, that now sounds a bit stupid, but it's not. It's like special blue. It's like blue sunglasses. Like you can have a look. He wears like these blue glasses, I think, and it does something. I don't know. I don't have them, sadly.
Well, again, blue blockers are an amazing
You
American
got-
invention.
You got followers, Brayden. You just got to hashtag whatever the top brand is, and they'll be like, "Here's a case of them, buddy."
It's not Brayden Bent. Jeez, he's definitely got a six pack. He looks like an athlete. I'll give him a
Too
pair.
much
I
sun
won't
in his
say
eyes,
good.
though. If there was only a way to prevent that.
This would be the reaction. They'd say hashtag whatever. And they'd go, yeah, I'm not.
With 202 clean sheets, which goalkeeper has the best record in the Premier League?
In the Premier League, Van der Sar, my guess.
Who is, I don't know how to say this name, Peter,
Peter Schmeichel.
no, Cecech?
Petr Cech, he was a good keeper actually, yeah.
A footy team with the worst jerseys and or color scheme. And you can't say Manchester United.
I was gonna say United. I would say with the worst colour scheme. I don't like Liverpool. I don't like anything red. I don't own anything red. So I'd say Liverpool or Arsenal. I like Arsenal's kits. I'm a big fan.
Should drinking be allowed inside the stadium during a game?
I'll go with yes, because I'm with you guys and I'm scared
Hey,
of saying the wrong thing.
Uruguay.
USA. Uruguay.
I'll go yeah.
And we did already talk about this, but your favorite American football team is...
The Tennessee Titans.
There we go. Well,
The flaming thumbtacks.
That's what the helmet looks like. The logo looks like a flaming thumbtack. Thank you, Todd.
Look at the logo on their helmet.
I never realized that until, but as soon as you said it, I'm like, I know exactly what he's talking about. That's fucking brilliant.
to send us out, as always, each week, Justin gives us his, yes, I'm going to say this every single week, wise words of wisdom. Thank you, Todd.
Cheers, mate.
I think it's important that we branch out and try to expand what we know and what we understand and what we appreciate. And that's why we do things like have 15-year-old gentlemen come on and explain to us shit that we are not smart enough as Americans to figure out on our own. It needs to be delivered to us with a delightful British accent, using terminology that, quite frankly, I think sounds made up. But despite my co-hosts' inability to understand their ignorance towards the sport, I still think that Ted Lasso was a fantastic documentary. And Brayden, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for explaining more of that. And I based on the show alone, I wasn't going to come see AFC Richmond, but based on now what I know about the sport, because again, you have really opened the door and shed some light on the entirety of let's football at this point. I've heard you say it so many times. I'm going to call it football. That I would like to come to Manchester at some point and see one of these soccer tilts. It sounds fascinating.
Trust me, Kay's been, if you ever come to Manchester and you want to see an English football game, you let me know and you can come and watch it with me. 100%.
But Kay can't come, right?
No, Kay's banned now. She's been banned.
He's offsides! You're fucking offsides! Over there! In line or behind?
No, but honestly, if you ever want to come, just let me know, and I'm sure we can sort it.
Brayden, we don't usually do this with our guests, but you've been very insightful. So if you would like to promote your social media feeds or anything like that, we will allow that at this time, on our podcast.
I think I'd like to do it as a joint thing because it's been great, being on with you guys. And I've put a little bit on my Instagram, which is called Brayden Bent page, and I've managed to build up a decent following over the years. So it started off at 0, and I'm now lucky enough to be on 111,000 with the blue tick verification, which is great. But I'm put my Instagram stories on. I'll always at everybody in it. And if there's ever anything that you'd like me to promote, always let me know as well. But thank you very much for having me on.
You tell your folks that some of us across the pod, kudos to your folks for raising a fine young man.
Oh, thank you very much. No, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
We feel bad now about how we raised our kids, Brayden.
Thanks for joining Sweat Socks and All That Sauce with Justin K and Todd and the one and only Mr. Brayden Bent. You can find him at Brayden Bent page. We have nowhere near as many followers as Brayden, but remember, you can watch the show on YouTube. We've got our Instagram up and running, at Sweat Socks Pod. And if you want to chime in, feel free to send us an email at sweatsockspodcast@gmail.com. Till next time.
We're growing way more exponentially than Brayden is, though. 1 to 9.
That's right.
That's a hell of a...
Todd, you missed the outro. Todd.
You hate our outro. You hate it, admittedly.
Stay sweaty.
Can you do it one more time, Kay? Can we do it one more time?
Brayden, can you say stay sweaty for me, please?
What, right now?
Yeah, till
Hang
next
on.
time.
Wait, I want to say it at the same time.
Say it together.
Yes.
Until next time, stay sweaty.
That's nice.
Guys are the worst. Sweat Socks and All That Sauce is hosted by Todd Lyons, Kay White, and Justin Michaels.
Our theme song made by Pat Leonards.
And the album artwork is by Mike Willis.